The first obstacle that age plays is that if you guys come from two different generations, let us say your husband is in his 60s and you are in your 20s. Your 20s, what is interesting to you is how to be hip, how to party, how to have fun, how to do this and do that. While your husband that is 60-year old has done party, has been hip, he's now trying to retire. So you see that little difference might sometimes, if there is no understanding, cause a lot of problem in a relationship.
Live from Atlanta, Georgia. Beautiful, wonderfully made by God. Welcome to the Big Show.
Because now the woman is young and wants to go out, party, do this, do that. And the man is old, wants to retire, wants to mellow down, wants to take it a little bit step down. So if there is no understanding, acceptance, that might be a problem. That's number one problem. Number two problem that can come out in age is if you guys have two different tastes. Maybe you are a younger generation, so you are into video games. You guys like to do your video games. You guys like to do technology. You guys like to do texting. You guys like to do dates. You guys like to do this. And then you're married to a man that is not his age. That is not his taste. What he calls a good time is you cooking a very good ofokro and give him a very good pounded yam. And then you guys relax and eat it and watch African movie. That is his evening of fun. But for you, you want your evening of fun. Hey, let's go to Concord Hotel. Let's go party. Hey, party. So you guys have two different tests. So, but when there is a compromise, remember, marriage is about compromise. When there is a compromise, we have the basic. We have love, we have understanding, we have acceptance, we have patience, and then we come to an agreement of compromise. Then the man will say, okay, even though I don't like, excuse me, even though I don't like to do this and do this and do that, but because I married you and you're younger, I will come down a little bit, like meeting you halfway. You like to do this and do that because you're young, but because you're mature, you're married to a matured man, then you also compromise and come down so you guys can meet somewhere. So that's why really age does not matter. When there is understanding, when there is trust, when there is love, when there is patience, when there is acceptance, loyalty, honesty, then you guys can always compromise and meet each other. But if anybody tells you that age does not pose a problem, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. And then when you talk about this is the age of older, when you talk about the age of younger, okay, a man or a woman that is younger tend to be immature, tend to be reasoning at the level. Remember, did you guys know? Let me give you guys a shocker. Did you guys know that the logical part of the brain, which is somewhere here, that's the part you use to think, that's the part you use to do logical thinking, that's the part you would look at things, look at it critically, and come to a conclusion. Do you know it doesn't develop in you until you're in your 20s? Did you guys know that? It does not develop in you until you are in your 20s. So that means if you're marrying an 18-year-old girl or a 16-year-old girl, that part of her brain that gives her logical thinking has not even developed. So you cannot say you are not understanding. She can't understand. She doesn't have that part of the brain working. It has not been activated because it starts getting there in her 20s. So you have to make patience. Age does not matter, but when there's a lot of age difference, you have to make sure that you are willing to deal with all the ups and downs that come with age. Age has a lot of ups and downs, especially when the age gap is a lot. If it is like 5 years, 10 years, it's like an age group. You remember in our culture, we have age group. Age group is not people that are born in the same year. Most of the time in Igbo culture, age group is between 5 years, people that are born in with a 5 year difference, or sometimes 10 years. So you might be born 1971, and the other person might be born 1979, and all of you belong in the same age group, age grade, because it is that 10-year thing. So it doesn't really matter if the difference is 5 years, 10 years, within like an age group, you guys can be at almost at the same level, maybe a little difference here and there. But when the gap is a lot, like he is 60 and you're 20, or she is 60 and you're 15, that's a whole different generations. Like one generation, two generation, three generation, four generations between the two of you. So that might pose a little bit more problem that you have to be able. So many people you carry her and not be the actress. She lost her son, and now people are saying she's dating this young boy. Internet has gone crazy. Oh, why will she do that? People are telling the boy, don't break her heart, and this. If they love themselves, I have not seen any proof where they are married. I looked, I didn't see any proof legally where they say they are married. But let us say they are married or they're in a relationship. I don't know. But let us say that's what is going on. Guys, the question you should ask yourself is, if she loves him and he loves her, and he understands, that's why it's good to communicate. They need to sit down and talk. You understand that I'm older. Because I'm older, I might be wiser in certain things. Like we say in Igbo culture, sitting down, a child will not see it standing on top of the mountain. That means what an elderly person sees while sitting down on a chair, and a young person will not see it on the mountain top, because it has to do with age, it has to do with wisdom, it has to do with experience. I might not be smarter than my daughter. This generation, they are very smart. You see, most of the time when I have problem on my computer, who do I call? My son. Because there are certain things I can't do. I'm an old head. There are certain things I cannot do. But the truth of the matter is that there are certain things that they will not know, no matter how many universities they go to, no matter how many books they read, no matter how long they stay on the internet, no matter what, they don't know those things. You know why? Because age and experience and life obstacles and life problems have given me those wisdom that they will never know. That's what people mean by sitting down. A child will not sit on mountaintop. That experience has taught us certain things that they cannot read in a book. But because we experience those things, we now have outcome, advice, things that we learned from those experiences that we can share with our children. So that's what that means. Okay? So sometimes age does not matter. What really matters is, are you willing to deal with all the problems and obstacles and issues and circumstances and problems and troubles that will come out with that age? Most of the time, I've noticed that when older, very old men marry young girls, they are always suspecting them of cheating, because of there's this insecurity they have at the back of their mind that I'm old and she's young. So anybody she looks at out there, oh, maybe they're her boyfriend, because you are thinking, oh, she's gonna cheat because I'm older and she's young, so she might look for some. Vice versa too. Women that marry younger boys are always very controlling. I used to have one of my brothers. He told me, he said he was dating this girl who is an old, that is the lady was like in her 50s, like 55-year-old, and loved this guy, And the guy said he actually loved the woman, even though he was afraid that if I marry this woman, will she be able to have children for me and stuff like that. But he said, in this day and age, anything can happen. In vitro, IVF, what do you call it, surrogacy, adoption. So that's not a problem for him. But he said the only reason why he broke it up with the girl, he was telling me, is that whenever he goes, like if he tells the girl, I'm going to go out with my friends on Friday, let me go out with my friends and we're just gonna hang out and drink or whatever. The girl will say, oh, okay, you can go. But she said, he told me that once he leaves the house, the girl will start calling non-stop, like back and forth, back and forth. Where are you? What are you doing? He said, can you let me just stay? You are the only one calling. Since I left the house, you have called me 15 times, saying this and saying that and saying this and saying that. Can you? I'll be back soon. And he told me that, guys, no, he told me that, do I know that when he finally gets home and takes off his clothes and dump it on the floor to go take a bath, this girl will go and become a dog and start sniffing underwear, sniffing shirt, sniffing, I don't know what she's sniffing. So I don't know whether I asked him, I said, What is she sniffing for? What smell does she? Which does she? Maybe the smell of another woman's cologne, or the man say, I don't know. I got tired of living like a prisoner in my own house. I cannot go anywhere. If somebody calls me, if I go to sleep, she's checking on my phone. She wants to see who I spoke to. To the extent that this girl went and downloaded an app. You know, all this app that downloaded an app on his phone, whereby if anybody calls the guy, as he's ringing on the guy's phone, he's also ringing on her own phone. She will keep quiet, and once the man picks it up, then she will pick it up, and everything you guys said, she will hear it. He said when he saw that one, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. He said, this is I can't do this. And he told me, he said that's how he walked out of the marriage. That's how he walked out of the relationship, because it was just too much. So these are some of the challenges that come with, you know, whether a man or a woman being in love or marrying somebody that is younger or older. So if you can overcome those obstacles, if you think you can be able to talk it through and trust who you are with, you don't suspect every time he moves that he's going somewhere else or she's going somewhere else. You talk about it, you trust the person, you understand, you know, you guys are honest in your conversations, you know, to talk to each other, you talk, you listen. Conversation, remember, communication is the art of speaking and the art of listening. It's not just speaking, he has to listen too. So if you guys think you can overcome that, then there is nothing you guys cannot do. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying.